If you're like me, you may be one of those people who constantly hear about Bitcoin's potential for worldwide acceptance and adoption, but have no real anecdotal evidence of its over the table use in today's economy. And you would be correct in that thinking. In an Australian study from 2019, it was estimated that 46% of Bitcoin's transactions were involved with some sort of illicit activity. But before you make an argument that the only purpose of Bitcoin is for illicit activity, let me just point out that you can also conclude that 54% of transactions were not illicit. You can also make the argument that the US dollar, the euro, and the pound are also all used for the purposes of illicit activity as well. One beach town in El Salvador, called El Zonte or Bitcoin Beach, is proving that an economy can make legit use of the Bitcoin cryptocurrency. So, why El Salvador and why El Zonte? Well, when you look at El Salvador's economy, you wouldn't expect the country to be on the top of the list for promising prospects for a thriving cryptocurrency economy. When you look a little closer, it actually seems El Salvador may just be the perfect candidate for this type of economic revolution. El Salvador is one of the world's slowest growing economies among developing countries. Its GDP growth rates have been sluggish at the lower single digits for about 20 years. And with roughly 40% of the country's population below the poverty line, it makes absolute sense that a change is needed. And this is where Michael Peterson comes in. In an interview with Stefan Livera, Michael Peterson said that he had been living in El Salvador for 7 years before starting the project and had been doing economic work in the country during that time. There was a donor, there was an idea, and the project basically was born from there. So, what has been the experience so far? It can be said that what Michael has accomplished so far has been nothing short of extraordinary. He has spread the use of Bitcoin and its Lightning Network to 40 businesses in this town of only 3,000. He estimates that over 500 families in this community are now using Bitcoin on a daily basis. It has not stopped there. In El Salvador, Michael is estimating that over 3 to 5 times that number are now using Bitcoin on a daily basis. So, what does the future look like with Bitcoin in El Salvador? Well, let's take a trip back to Bitcoin Beach, where the Reuters paper reported Zulma Rivas, the 38-year-old mother of 3, started accepting Bitcoin payments last year for the bags of cut fruit she sells from a tray to tourists. But for Rivas, cash is king. She rarely uses Bitcoin, she says, because like many in the town, her battered smartphone struggles with the payments app. When Reuters visited last week, the device was broken. Anyway, she often runs out of data on her prepaid contract. Then there is the internet connection, notoriously patchy in the rural areas of El Zonte, which is 30 miles southwest of San Salvador, the capital. A 2020 study by Microsoft and the Inter-American Development Bank concluded that El Salvador had the second lowest internet penetration of 20 countries in Latin America and the Caribbean. At only 45%, connectivity was only lower in neighboring Honduras. In rural areas, barely 1 in 10 people have internet access. So you may be thinking, and you would be correct in thinking, how can a government implement a primarily digital currency in a country where 1 in 10 have internet access? Well, The current government is trying to bridge that divide by delivering computers and crucial infrastructure to areas around the country. Blanca Pons, of 30, told Reuters that she does not have the ability to accept Bitcoin because she does not have enough money for a smartphone or an internet data plan. She also fears the financial risk. So it looks like it is incredibly difficult to get people to drop their hardy dollars for the Bitcoin currency, and perhaps different methods are needed to get the currency more widely accepted in the country. And in comes President Nayib Bukele, who has become a sort of Bitcoin cheerleader of late on his Twitter. Nayib has made the bold decision to make Bitcoin a legal tender in El Salvador through legislation that passed with only a few hours of debate in Parliament. Well, what does that mean, legal tender? Well, starting in September, if somebody would like to purchase something, for example, a bottle of water with Bitcoin, the store will have the legal obligation to accept Bitcoin. They will not be able to decline it, not legally at least. One has to think, why has President Nayib decided to make this move? Well, on his Twitter, he has claimed that the switch will boost GDP by bringing in investments, and also it will make the transferring of remittances much quicker. Both of these claims seem to be a little confusing, as adopting Bitcoin won't necessarily bring in investment capital by itself. And also, foreign investment does not contribute to a country's GDP. As for offering faster transfers of remittances, how the roughly 33% of El Salvadorians who have access to the internet will be able to access Bitcoin still remains to be seen. I guess only time will tell. Well, what can we learn about future worldwide adoption from the El Salvador project? I think we have a great deal to learn from Bitcoin Beach and also from the new Bitcoin law. When the law takes effect in September, the whole world will be watching, and its failure or success can either speed up worldwide adoption or halt it in its tracks. One thing is for sure, the successful adoption of Bitcoin will take much more than just the technology. There is crucial infrastructure that a country needs to implement, and the data is showing that very few countries are capable of producing that infrastructure at the current moment. For El Salvador, well, getting the internet to roughly 66% of its population who do not currently have it in a short 3 months by September will make for one hectic summer, and I'm sure we will all be watching. Thank you for watching, and tune in for the next episode, and make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you.